Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you for joining me once again for one of these diary entries. Now, uh, looks like there's been a little bit of change here on the front sheet there, and it looks like there's now a Ho-Oh and a Lugia going along with all of those Eevees. And might I say, this is a very fortuitous moment there, because Gen 2 was my favorite gen. I know that there were a lot of problems with it because of the restrictions that the Game Boy had, that they had to end up cutting out a lot of stuff there. But when they ended up remaking Gen 2 for Heart Gold, Soul Silver, it probably is my favorite Pokemon game just in the series in general there. So, I'm coming in here, gonna be doing in some new polls to be able to get some of these new cards that are coming out, because there are going to be a lot of them. This is a full set there, much like the what was that one there? The Space Time Smackdown one there for Gen 4, as well as the Gen 7 one that we ended up getting for Solgaleo and Lunala. So I do have quite a few of the hourglasses here, so I'm actually going to be going in, and I believe I have enough to be doing potentially 60 packs from each one this time. And because it's going to be a big set, I definitely am going to be coming back and doing a few more, just get some more of the specific cards there. But before I get into this, I do want to showcase these, because between the time that I did my last Eevee pack openings and this one here, so about that month-ish type of period, we went off in terms of the pulls that we got. So see them here now. Just as we do with all of our other sets there, after we do the videos, I like to be able to record my daily pulls there, just so that, even if you don't want to put any money into this, you're still able to get cards for free, like really good cards there. So I want to start off by showcasing this Flareon Full Art EX, and it's very important for me because I love Eevee. So being this an Eevee-centric set, having this as an extra one that I get, and getting closer to being able to just get every single card in the set, feels a little bit important there for me. So every time I get something new is really great. But on top of that Flareon EX, that is right, there is another Immersive Art Eevee EX. But not only that, there was a second one that followed up very, very shortly after. It was just absolutely incredible. Like, I am going to be able to get flares on all of these there and be able to use them in my decks, and I'm really excited there. On top of that there, oh, look at that, a third one. So you definitely know that I'm able to get the flares on them, and it's just absolutely amazing to be able to get the Pokemon that you love multiple times in this gorgeous artwork. On top of that there, I was able to finish up the shiny full art legendary bird trio here with this Articuno. If you do recall, back in the previous two videos, I was able to get the Moltres and the Zapdos, but being able to finish it off with this Articuno is great, because Articuno is my favorite of the legendary birds. And also, on top of that there, I was able to get a little bit more of the rainbow action here with this Primarina EX, and my goodness, is it a gorgeous card there. Being able to see her doing that sparkling aria, if you will. But along the way, there were some shiny Pokemon that I still didn't have. This Ralts, I think, was still one of the ones that I did have there, but being able to get another one there, I mean, it very well could be a new one, but I think based off of there's no new text, it's probably one that I already had. But the Gardevoir from Genetic Apex there was insanely good, so being able to get shinies if you wanted to get up to it, pretty darn good. On top of that there, that's right, we're not done. This Dragonite Full Art EX also popped up. And you know what? That's it. That's all of the Full Art 2 stars. All that's remaining are some shiny Pokemon, a Full Art Penny, and a Rainbow Rare. So it felt amazing to be like, hey, we've got another one of those there. And you know, it didn't want to end because it finished off with another full art Articuno Shiny EX, and you know, I was just blown away. It's my favorite bird to be able to get the other shiny. It's not the best shiny there, but that means that I can have a deck with both copies in it if I really wanted to. It's just like absolutely amazing what came about with all of this here. I mean, last time as well, it was like, wow, like what happened? Like an extra gold came up there. I mean, it was very similar to like the Solgaleo one as well, but it's just like, you know, this time around, it's just like, man, there were so many hits that it went through, and I can't remember if I ended up showing. No, I didn't end up showing how much I had by the end of that one there, because I didn't do any recordings. I just took photos. But it's now down to, there's a full art penny, 2 rainbow rares for the Flareon and the Sylveon, as well as 2 of the shiny Pokemon that are remaining there. So all in all, there's only 5 cards that I'm missing from that set. So I believe at some point I might try to go in and do another opening of it there, because at the end of another 100-pack opening, I'll have enough for 2,500 points, which I can use to be able to exchange for 2 of the cards there. So I am hoping that I'll be able to get one of the rainbow rares or the full art penny. It would be nice to get the shinies along the road there, but they're not kind of my priority. But we'll talk on that later. Right now, we've got some Gen 2 to open. And I will say it's a little bit difficult for me because when I was young, I got silver, and I did not get gold version until much, much later. It was a exchange present with a friend from one of my first jobs there. He got me a copy of gold. But I did play Heart Gold version because I had played Silver originally. So it's a little bit difficult of what I should do. However, I do like Lugia a bit more than Ho-Oh, so I am going to go in and do this one here first. So let us wish for a lot of luck there, because all of this stuff is going to be new for us, with the exception of one. If I come across a Snubble, I did see that there was a rainbow rare in the Wonder Pulls there, and I was like, I gotta at least try for it. Unfortunately, didn't get it. I was off by 1 space there, and it ended up being a Snubble. So we'll still read over it, since I didn't really read the Snubble. I mean, it's a basic Pokemon that has an evolution, so it's probably not going to do much anyway. Alrighty, first up. First 10 packs of Lugia. Let us get hype. Let us get excited. Let's get some lucky pulls. Okay. I was going to be like, oh, you know, like, I didn't hear anything and I didn't see any visuals there, but we could still get something. First card being a full art. And look at that Chikorita, trying to be so cute. But no one really likes this line here, but it's still nice to be able to get the full arts there. Let's see, I'm just trying to say, I mean, it's a very plant-based house there, but I don't really see any other sorts of things in the background of it. Still very, very nice artwork, though. Ambipom, 100 HP, Tail Jab for 40, you know, upgraded, Farfetch'd, but you have to evolve it, so kind of meh. Doubling up on it, tripling up on it there. Oh, so that's what it was. It was like, we gotta triple up on your Ambipoms so that you can get 2 full arts in the first one there. Okay, Scizor, 100 HP, Steel type, 2 Steel for Gale Thrust, 50 plus. If this has moved from your bench to the active spot, it deals 50 more damage. So my guess is it's kind of acting a little bit like Bullet Punch almost there, doing 100 if you brought it out there. And surprisingly, despite Scizor's low speed, they only gave him a 1 retreat cost, which I think is what they would need to do with that sort of ability on its attack there. You know, then be able to retreat it out for something else, whether it be another Scizor or if it's something else that you've got there. But to be able to continuously do that, you know, you'll need ones that have that low retreat cost there. But very, very nice artwork there. It's going around, looks like destroying some stones. probably training up there. Nice glossy sheen on its shell. It's carapace, I guess. Horsey with some nice little artwork there. Very, I don't know, cutesy. Wasn't exactly what I was gonna say there. It's just a stylistic one there. So 50 with 30 on damage, not too bad on that. Yanmega 90, Grass 2 for Bug Buzz 60, meh. Hitmontop 80 with fighting type, 1 fighting, piercing spin 20. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon also. Okay, so 40 in total. Still kind of meh, because it's only 40 on that there. This is the original art for Chikorita. Kind of has that almost feeling for the like Neo Dynasty and all of those like original Gen 2 packs, but I don't recognize the art myself. And a Blossom, a rare. Okay, rares are sometimes hard to get. 130 HP, Grass type, Petal Dam, 60x, flip 3 coins. It does 60 for each heads. It's now confused. Yeah, it's kind of risky, because what if you get 0 heads and you're just like, oh yes, I just did 0 damage and confused myself. Whoops. Oddish, kind of getting it out there. 50 Grass, Poison Powder, 10 and Fair Poison. Okay. Absol. I know that this is Jacob Alfarad's favorite guy there, so if he plays this, maybe he'll appreciate it. 80 Dark type, 1 Dark Leap over. It does 30 to one of your opponent's benched. Fortunately, does not do anything to your opponent's active, so it can kind of be a dead card there with that. I wonder if they're going to put some mega cards in the game there to put over regular Pokemon with ZA coming out, or if that's going to be like a way later thing. Oddish, Wooper for Smalland, 70 HP, Water type, 2 for Rain Splash, 30, meh. Musharna, 110, Psychic type, Dream Dance, 60, both active, are now asleep. Interesting. I mean, it would be great if you could retreat this out fast, but it has 3 on it there, so not really much of a fan. Mana to go along with it there. Nice little stylized town in the background there with all of the dreams going on. 70. Yeah, it's okay. Jinx trying to, looks like, maybe perform some sort of aria in an ice cavern there. 80 HP, Psychic, Track, Smack, 30. Flip a coin. If head your opponent's active is now paralyzed. Okay. Slow King. When the Gen 2 packs came out and they mistranslated the Slow King into English, it became an insanely broken card, but no ability on this one here. Slow King, 110 HP Psychic, 2 for Psychic 10 plus. It does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active there. You know, we've gotten those ones before. It starts off at 10 though, so you know, not quite as good. Oh, my beloved Cyndaquil looks so happy there. I just, you know, I would want to pick him up there and just twirl him around just to have him exclaim with glee there, just because he looks so adorable in this one here. 60 Fire Flare for 120. You know, we'll see how that goes. Octillery, 100 HP, Water type, 2 for Octazooka, 50. If defending Pokemon tries to use an attack, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, the attack doesn't happen. The effect lasts until defending Pokemon leaves the active spot, and it doesn't stack. Oh, that is... So, if your opponent doesn't have a means of retreating and attacking with something else, then you basically force them onto every single one of the kind of attacks that are like flip a coin if tails does nothing, but it remains on it until they are no longer in the active slot. So it's like either they retreat or they faint, and that's the only way that it stops. So I mean, you could, like, it would be nice if you could put this out, do that, and potentially have another thing out to be able to then do more damage or set up or whatnot there, to be able to get that down so that they're consistently, you know, having only a 50-50 chance of hitting. I mean, with how many tails people end up throwing, you know, that could be a very annoying card, but I don't think it's going to be the most amazing. Corphish, 60, water, 2 for Vice Grip, 30, doubling up on Corphish. Yay, Flaffy! The Mareep Flaffy Ampharos line is one of my favorite Pokemon branches of all time there. You know, it's probably my second favorite evolution line, with being like my third favorite Pokemon there. So I'm really happy to see more of them here. I'll be looking forward to seeing what Ampharos does, to see if maybe I want to put him in. 90 HP Electric, 2 for Zap Kick, 50. Decent amount there. But, you know, Ampharos will give us the final say-so. Another Magikarp, 30 water, very low HP. Splashing Dodge, 10. Flip a coin if head during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from an effects of attacks done to this Pokemon there. So you could pseudo protect it until, you know, Gyarados comes out if you needed to. There's the Gyarados. I mean, you've also got Gyarados EX, but this one only has 2, so you could essentially use it right afterwards. 130 water, 2 for Wild Swing, 20+. You may discard any number of your benched water Pokemon. This attack does 40 more damage for each benched Pokemon you discarded this way. I don't really like this, because I understand that you're not giving your opponents prize cards, and I guess that is an option that you could do of, hey, you know, I have a Pokemon that is just about dead, so instead of giving my opponent a prize card, and, you know, risk them using like a Cyrus or a Sabrina or anything else, or an attack that hits your bench there, you could just be like, yeah, I'm going to discard it there to make it 40 stronger. The problem, so it's just like, yeah, it helps with that. You have to be in a very specific situation for it to really be of effect there. But we don't have a lot of cards in our deck there, so getting rid of a Pokemon on your bench, especially if you have not fully evolved at last yet, could kind of brick part of your deck, make some of your cards just not work anymore there. And it's kind of low power is a big thing there. Like, unless you do the power up there, so unless like Gyarados is your main thing and what you're trying to do is like get a full bench out there so that you can discard all of them and deal another 120 damage there, so you swing out with 140. But it's just like, but then it's hard to get your Magikarps and your Gyarados if you've got a ton of just like basic Pokemon that you're trying to put out there, and you can only really do that big swing once, because then you'll have to wait until you're getting all of the other stuff. I'm not a fan of this one here. You know, good to get it still, but just not a fan. Slowpoke, 70, Psychic, it's asleep, heal 30 from it there. I mean, Rest should be fully healing it there, but I can understand how that could be annoying. So, okay, Yanmega again, Corphish, Slowpoke again, Meganium, 150, Grass, Bloomshine, 80 damage for 3, heals 20 from each of your Pokemon there. I mean, healing every single one of your Pokemon, we've found, is always very good. I mean, you know, the Shaman healing 10 every turn has always been a little bit of a nuisance there, but, you know, this can certainly help out with that there. So, you know, it'll be something to keep in mind, especially since we still have rare candies, so that, you know, potentially we could get this out sooner there. Sunkern, 40, Grass, Blot, 20, heal 10 from this guy there, okay. Wooper, Slowking, Horsey, Lyra, okay. Our new trainer card, switch your active that has damage on it with one of your benched. Okay, so it's going to be an upgraded version of the X speed, except the condition is, because, you know, it just doesn't do it by 1. So this is very good for your big, bulky, tanky Pokemon, or your EXs with a lot of HP that take, you know, the 3-4 energy to retreat out. You do it for free. All they have to do is have some damage on them there. I think that this is a very good trainer card there, and definitely worth running in those types of decks that do have those really large retreat costs that you want. You could pair it with the Scizor of having another steel type that you have go in after you retreat out Scizor, so that it doesn't have a retreat cost there. I think Lyra is a very, very good one there. Ambipom, Binacle, 80 fighting, dual chop, flip 2. It does 30 for each heads for 2. It's fine. Kulava, yay, my boy is getting bigger. Still 1 for combustion, 30 HP, 80 fire type there. Yep. Slowpoke, Cherim, 80 grass, Seed Bomb for 1 for 40. Not really doing all that much there. Weavile, yeah, one of my other boys there. 80 HP dark type, so just one big attack for really, really cheap there, kind of going along with the veins of how it was in the Space-Time Smackdown. Chinchou, 70 lightning type, lightning ball for 10. Cyndaquil, my beloved again. Hitmontop, Scizor, this is just a regular version of it there. Doesn't have quite the same sheen on it as it did with the previous one, but it's still very, very nice. We'll certainly take all of them because we need it. And Xatu getting some love, a Pokemon that is probably honestly forgotten a whole lot there. But yeah, 80 HP, Psychic type, 2 Psychic for Life Drain, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's actives, remaining HP is now 10. What the hell? It's very similar to the, I'm trying to remember who had it. It was like the Guillotine or something, where it was like flip 2 coins, I think it was, and it just instantly KOs a Pokemon. Like, this is very, very close to that there, of just bringing them down to 10. You could just be like, yes, you're 180 HP EX. I flip with my Xatu. Oh man, you're down to 10. If you kill my Xatu, then my next guy comes out and kills your EX. That is a risky play, but it could do a lot of damage there. And it's not a 25% chance like with the Guillotine or whichever one it was. It's a 50%, so it's a little bit better. Heatmore, 90 fire type. Roasting Heat, 30 plus. If your opponent's active is burned, it does 60 more. Okay. Remoraid, 60 water. Water Gun, 20. Hooper. There is my Ampharos, 150 lightning type. Thunder Punch for 2, 80 plus. Flip a coin of heads, it does 40 more damage. If tails, it does 20 to itself. I mean, it's kind of bulky there, so it can probably take another hit there, but kind of decent. Okay, so, I mean, we got a bunch of cards there. We get to see our triple Ambipom at the beginning there. No 2 stars there, but we did get some of the rares, which can sometimes prove a little difficult to get there. And we did end up getting a few of the art cards there. I mean, especially this Xatu. I think that it has some extremely vibrant colors there. So, it's up in the air if it's actually going to get played, since it is kind of chance-based, but at least I think the artwork on it is stellar. Alrighty, so starting up here, we are going to be getting 161 cards, and after this first round here, we are going to get 33 of our 161. Okay. Let's see how much we can get into that there. Going in for our second ones here there. Using up some more of those hourglasses that we have. There we are. Let's hope for a little bit of luck here. Okay. Got a little bit there, so we'll see where that ends up going. Starting off with a little bit of Ledian, a little bit of Daniel there. 80 HP grass type, 1 grass for punch. Getting a little of that Falcon in there. 50 damage. It's kind of middling there for that one stage there. Probably not going to see too much there. Murkrow, 60, Dark type, Astonish, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent reveals a random card from their hand and shuffles it into their deck there. No damage, but you do essentially rip a card from their hand, make them reshuffle it. They could redraw it there if it was something that they really needed. It's just more annoying than anything. Will, okay, getting a little bit of Elite Four action here. Next time you flip any number of coins for the effects of an attack, ability, or trainer card, after using this card on this turn, the first coin flip will definitely be heads. Oh, so now we are guaranteeing them. I thought it was going to be for this turn, if you're going to flip a coin, you instead flip 2 coins and you get to, if one of them is heads, you get to keep it there. But no, this is just if you play this here, you're just guaranteed to win a coin flip there. Okay, so the Xatu is now guaranteed. Okay, you're just going to deal like 150, 60, 70 damage there just out of the gate. You're just like, yeah, that's just how it be. Okay, that's a very interesting one there. Chikorita, Musharna again. Always gotta have a new Eevee, and the Eevee, we're using it, find a friend there, because we have something in this pack. 60, colorless, 1 colorless, you find a friend, you put a random Pokemon from your deck into your hand. You know, I don't know, like, part of me says, like, I like this a lot more than being like, yes, for 1 ideal, like, 10 damage or something like that. You know, being able to draw an extra card, or in this case there, you just put a random Pokemon, whether it's an evolution that you want for this, or just another Pokemon that you need in the deck there. Honestly, I think that that's a decent one there. You essentially get to thin out your deck, you get more of your deck more on. So Eevees, always a fan, will always love them forever and ever there. Slowpoke, Porygon 2 with an ability there, okay. Too bad we can't put a little bit of Eviolite on this, right? 80 HP, normal type. Buggy Evolution, whenever you attach an energy from your energy zone to this Pokemon, put a random card from your deck that evolves from this Pokemon onto this Pokemon to evolve it. So, if you have a Porygon Z in your deck, and you attach an energy from this, you just put a Porygon Z, whether it's an EX or not, just on this. That is, I don't know, that sounds very, very good, because you could essentially be like, okay, you know, I've got the Porygon, I evolve it into the Porygon 2, put an energy on it, and it automatically becomes the Porygon Z. Like, the only time that this doesn't work is if you don't have one in your deck, like if it's in your hand. But it's just like, okay. Like, that, like, the ability seems kind of bonkers with that, of just instantly going from, you know, a basic Pokemon to a stage 2 without needing to use a rare candy, and all you have to do is equip. This here doesn't have to be in the active zone there either, so, oh boy. We'll see what Porygon Zs, like, if there's more Porygon Zs that are worthwhile of putting onto this there, because it's an impactful ability. 2 for 40 is really not that good there. And we also get the Porygon to go in with it there, 60 colorless, 1 for ramp, 20. And our big card is going to be, a nice little Murkrow there. Definitely all of the washed out colorings of the background there, just making it black and white, whether this is like I mean, it definitely looks like some sort of city, because we've got the crosswalk in the background, we've got the kind of fencing there, maybe for like a terrace or a patio out above the streets there, but, you know, essentially making only the Murkrows in color kind of really makes them pop out, kind of gives that contrast that I think is really good with the dark type there. So very gorgeous artwork. Like, we're looking to get everything. More Eevees, we'll love them there. More Cyndaquils, we'll love them too. Cherubi, okay, so the Cherubi has an ability, but not the Cherim. 50 HP, grass type, and Fruitiastic. And Fruitiastic. If this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached, attacks used by this Pokemon cost 1 less grass energy. and it has a Sweets Relay. So it's another Sweets Relay Pokemon that we could put in that deck there. Mine personally is just a grass one there that uses the Alcremie, Slurpuff, and Appleton. But because Cherim does not have Sweets Relay, I don't necessarily want to use it, and using a Pokemon tool to simply make it so that you don't need to have an energy on this doesn't really make me want to use it, so I'm going to pass on this in adding it into that deck there. But we are going to get Politoed, 140 HP, water type there, Lordly Cheering. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, attacks used by your Pokemon that evolve from Poliwhirl do 40 plus damage to your opponent's active. Hyper Voice, 2 for 60. Okay, so any Politoed, Poliwrath, or an EX of either, which kind of makes me feel like they would put that in there, would make that be able to happen. Now I'm trying to think, because unless they had like a Poliwag EX, it would be hard to have multiple copies of this on your bench and have something out, which is why I think that the 40 is so high there. So again, I think it really depends on if we get an EX for Politoed or EX for Poliwrath, either in this set or the future, to see where that is, because 40 extra damage is quite a lot, because, you know, you put a Giovanni out there, that's another 10, or you have a red doing an extra 20 damage there, you know, to an EX, potentially one-shotting something with them with this here. The only problem that I see with it is it's a stage 2, so you have to get it up all the way or use a rare candy. So it does take a little bit of finagling to get to it there. But 40 extra damage is quite a bit, and it's definitely understandable why it takes so much to get there. So glad to get it there. You know, for the collection, I'm not sure if it's really going to be used. Barbanacle, honestly, another completely forgotten about Pokemon there, because honestly, it doesn't look all that great there, and it just never really did anything. 120 HP, fighting type, 3 for dynamic chop, 70. This one as well is not doing anything, so skip over that. Mantine. Mantine's bringing in some extra friends for us. This, I think, might be where we heard the sound or saw the graphic there. 100 HP, water type. For 4, you get Dive of 80, flip a coin if heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from an effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. So very similar to other ones that we've seen, but 4 is a whole lot to do 80 and then try to prevent that damage there. I'm going to say it's way too much, that this Pokemon isn't tanky enough to be able to really take advantage of that there. So it's nice, but I don't think that it's going to necessarily work out. Another Heatmore, doubling up on the Heatmore, getting that Yanma for 60 HP, Grass type, U-turn. Switch with one of your benched Pokemon for 20 there, so kind of doing exactly what the U-turn does, being able to take it out and being able to put your guys back in there. So I guess, I mean, one thing that I'm thinking of is like, oh, you know, like this could go well with the Scizor, but it actually doesn't, because the effect goes out, you bring in the Scizor, but you can't attack with the Scizor that turn. So unfortunately, it doesn't actually work with it there. So it could be just a way of getting this off the bench without having to use up any of its energy there. But I don't know. The on Mega didn't seem like super impactful either, because I think Bug Buzz was just another energy to do like 60 or 70 or something like that. It just wasn't worth it there. And we're getting a Quillfish illustration there. Look at him puffing up and trying to be all big and strong there. 80 HP, water, 1 water for Poison Sting, 20. Funny seeing Poison Sting as a water type move. We've got so many water poison types there that it's just like, okay, I guess, you know, it's kind of makes sense there. But, you know, just it's a card. I mean, the problem with Quillfish is that it doesn't evolve, which is why Hisuian Quillfish is just so much better there. It's kind of a dead Pokemon there. It guarantees the poison, but I mean, that's about it. But I do like the artwork. It kind of looks like some of the art that you might be able to find in like an encyclopedia or one of the children's books there, to be like, oh, you know, this is what they look like type of deal. So I like that. Sunkern again, Ambipom, Houndoom looking kind of fierce there. Still nowhere near as fierce as it did in its illustration rare earlier on, but 110 HP, Dark type, 3 for dividing swipe, 70, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. So the Dark types are really going into that annoying controlling factor there of trying to make your opponents discard cards, shuffle them back into their decks. In most cases here, discarding that card is going to be a lot better there than anything, because it could be something impactful. Maybe it's that stage 2 that they were going to put down, or maybe it's the stage 1 that they are going to potentially put down, and now the stage 2 that they have is a little bit of a brick in their deck. Maybe you get rid of their oak, so they're no longer drawing 2 extra cards, or the trainer that gets them more damage, or prevents damage, or does something, it just disrupts their plans. I mean, it could help. It's just 3 is quite a bit onto this here. I'm not sure if it's gonna really be all that helpful, but if it was less, like if it was 2 for that effect there, I think that it would see a lot of play there, because 2 for doing 70 and make your opponent discard a card, that's a yikes. Another Yanma and another Blossom there. Getting that Oddish again. Pinsir, new Pinsir, 90 HP, Grass, 3 total for a Guillotine 70. I mean, it is what it is. Pinsir's never gotten an evolution. Maybe it will in the future, like Scyther. We'll see. A Bouffalant with some very, very nice artwork there. 100 HP, colorless, 3 for continuous headbutt, 70x. Okay, so this is just another one of those where it's just keep on flipping until you get tails and deal 70 for each heads. And I mean, you could do this with the will so that you're like, okay, you know, the first one is always heads there. Unfortunately, you cannot use will with like a Misty or something, because I think it specifically says Pokemon attacks or abilities, and you can only play 1 trainer a turn as well. So it's unfortunate that that's the case there, but you know, sometimes things can be still useful for these here. So, you know, Bouffalant there. 3 is quite a bit, so unless you're playing it in something like a Dialga EX deck to kind of help get a bunch of extra energy out there, it might be a little difficult to get that. Dunsparce 50, colorless, sudden flash 20, flip a coin if heads your opponent's active is now paralyzed. I don't know. It's random based for the paralysis there. I don't think that there's a Dunsparce in the game yet, so it's kind of like a meh. Another Lyra, okay, we definitely want that there because we want 2 at least. Slowpoke, Snubble, this is the one that I had gotten in the Wonder Pick there, instead of a Rainbow Rare Donphan. 60 Psychic types, Ram 20, okay. Another Bouffalant, another Yanma, Bayleaf, being able to make out the whole line there. 90 HP, Grass type 2 for Vine 40, okay. I mean, we gotta get there somewhere. Okay, Wobbuffet, how are they gonna make you? 90 HP, Psychic, 2 for Reply Strongly, 30 plus. If this Pokemon was damaged by an attack during your opponent's last turn while it was in the active spot, it deals 50 more damage. Okay. So it is kind of doing that whole counter mirror coat shenanigans there, where it does quite a bit more based off of if it got hit. You know, kind of decent. It is a basic type, so I mean, if you're able to get it out there and you take a hit, you can deal 80 back with 2 energy on a basic Pokemon. That's not an EX. It's not too shabby. It's probably not going to be standing up to any EXs though, so that's probably the big issue with it. Pineco 60, Grass 2 for Ram 30, okay. Fisher, another trainer, flip 3 coins for each head. A water Pokemon is chosen at random from your discard and put into your hand. Water types continuing to get a bunch of amazing support, but it is random support there. Theoretically, you're going to get 1.5 there, so unfortunately, it is chosen at random. If you don't have a lot in your discard, though, and I see what they're doing. This is specifically going to be wanted to pair up with that Gyarados, that makes you discard a whole bunch of stuff, because it's along those lines of, oh, you got your full bench up there. Okay, that's fine. You discarded all of them. You play the Fisher. The hope is to get 3 heads so that you're able to put out your bench again and then swing in for that maximum 140 damage again. But theoretically, you're going to be getting 1 or 2 because it does have the average of 1.5 there. So, you know, you gotta have to be thinking more along the lines of, okay, you know, I have to plan for getting only 1 back there, and if you get 0, that sucks. So, but I see what they're trying to do with it. Sunkern, Gloom, with an extremely funny face on it there. Usually it's just so nonchalant, but now it's just, with it tumbling there, it is an absolute utter shock. It looks like it's feeling like it's gonna die. So whatever leaf step it took there, you know, it's dealing more than 40 to itself. Vulpix, another cutie there, 60 HP, fire type, 2 for life coal, 30 damage. Trying to look really big, he's just like, I'm gonna get really close to the camera so that I look as big as that cactus in the background so that everyone's gonna respect me. I'm as tall as a saguaro. And then everyone realized that it's just a perspective change there, and they're like, oh, sweet little boy. 50 HP Psychic, 1 for Peck 20. Another Porygon 2 there. I want to see if there is a Porygon Z in the set. Chinchou, another Scizor. Okay. Last pack, Chikorita, Porygon 2, Sudowoodo, 90 Fighting, 2 for Rock Throw 50. Not too much there. Snubbull, and another Barbanacle. Okay, so far, we have not seen any, like, 2 stars or greater showing up here. So, you know, maybe my luck with all of the Eevee stuff kind of really reigned supreme there. We are about a third of the way through the cards there. Again, some are going to be specific for Ho-Oh there. So we'll see what those might be when we get to it. So we're going to open up our next ones here, which will be 30 from the Lugia. So we'll have those and then another 30 before we swap over to the Ho-Oh. I didn't hear anything there, so anything in here will be a surprise. Another Mawile, 70 Steel, 1 for Bite, 30, okay. Poliwhirl, you know, helping get some of those out. 90 HP Water, Wave Splash for 1 for 30, okay. Scyther to help get into Scizor, 70. Grass, 1 for Slash, 20, okay. Another Dunsparce. The regular version of Quillfish there. Again, feeling very threatened and puffing up like that middle one in the art card. Again, we want to try to get as many art ones as we can, and I am very, very certain that we are going to be getting an immersive rare in this one here, based off of what I just saw with those cards shuffling up. So we're going to have Remoraid, Ambipom. Oh my god. This is absolutely hilarious. I had seen the thing about the artwork there. Oh my god, this is so funny. Okay, Lugia EX, 150 HP, colorless, with a whole bunch of different energy on this. A fire, a water, a lightning for elemental blast, 180. You have to discard a fire, water, and electric type from this Pokemon. Honestly, unless they've got something for this here, this is probably going to be a dud of a Pokemon, unfortunately, because you essentially guarantee that you kill something, but that you can do absolutely nothing with this in return. You know, you gotta get lucky with all of your stuff because you're playing with 3 different energies. But my god, the artwork on this card, incredible! Best artwork ever, best immersive art. I'm sure Ho-Oh is going to be the same way because of their whole thing of like, oh, you know, artwork wasn't good enough. Oh my goodness. But I'm just so surprised that they didn't just keep whatever was there and just import it once they've done it. This is just so funny. Oh my goodness. Ambipom, Weavile. Well, we're surprised. We didn't hear absolutely anything, and we got the immersive art for Lugia. So just gotta, you know, guessing that there's going to be a gold Lugia as well, like a gold Lugia, gold Ho-Ho, unless there's like a gold Celebi that they're gonna be putting in here or something. But my goodness, it's just so funny. Mawile, Cyndaquil, Houndoom, Binacle, Smeargle. Smeargle, what are you doing here? 70 HP, colorless 2 for splatter coating, 50, change the type of random energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon to one of the following at random. Okay, so you essentially use this as another means of disruption where if they already have the proper energies attached to it, like they don't need a colorless per se, then you could use this, deal 50 damage, which is not insignificant, and you alter it there so that they need to put another energy onto the battlefield. And, or if they're like, I'm just one away from using the second attack of my Pokemon, or I just need one more to be able to do it, and you end up changing the typing of it so they can no longer use the attack, you neuter them in that effect. Smeargle, another disruption type there. Kind of feels like it goes... I mean, I don't know how well it would work with it there, but I mean, the whole, like, dark type control aspect that they have there, this feels like it goes into that one there of, you know, if you're not ripping cards from their hand, you're changing up their energies so that they can't attack you. Very interesting. I think it's a very annoying card. Did we get another new artwork coming? Ledian, Binacle. Nope, it's a Kingdra. Kingdra EX. So our first EX, we haven't really gotten any EXs here. 170 HP, water type, Stormy Prison for 2, 90 damage during your opponent's next turn, they can't retreat. Very interesting. So, I mean, it is stage 2, so, you know, you do have to put the resources in to get it there, either with, you know, Horsey Rare Candy or Horsey Cedra Kingdra EX. But the big thing to see here is that it's only 2 to be able to do it, and unless they have a way to defend or heal themselves, 90 KOs them in 2 turns. Because I can't remember, I don't think that we really have a Pokemon that has a 190 or 200 HP there. We could, and I'm just misremembering it there. But it's along those lines of, you know, making it so that they can't retreat out. They will either have to defeat this, or, you know, they have to defeat it to not get KO'd. But 170 HP is not insignificant. It's, like I said, if I'm remembering correctly, I think 180 is the most that we have on a Pokemon for HP so far. So, you know, this being 170, just below that there, oh boy, like, I think that this could show some play with it there. Mareep, Mareep, another one of my beloveds there. 60, a lightning, 1 for static shock, 20. It is just absolutely loving all of those dandelions there. My goodness, I'd love to have a Mareep. Just be able to have it go out in the field and play. That's nice. And we're getting the Typhlosion, my favorite of the Johto starters. I mean, the whole Cyndaquil line, to be fair. 140 HP, fire type, fire breathing. Once during your turn, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon burned. Okay, so you're just actively making them take an extra 20 damage there, and then they've got to flip a coin, and if they don't make the heads, they stay burned. So this ability, this fire breathing, feels very similar to the Genetic Apex Weezing's one that allows you to poison them. You know, the big difference between the two, Weezing is only a stage 1, Typhlosion is a stage 2, so it takes a bit more to get out there, but Typhlosion has a lower retreat cost of only 2, so you could Leaf it out, you could Lyra it out there if it has damage on it, to get it out and bring in another guy if you really wanted to, because unfortunately 60 on 2 is not an insane amount of damage there. you could see it along the lines of you deal the 60, you deal the burn, they take 20 at the up, the start of their turn there, so you know it's 80 total that it's doing, with the potential of more if they do not cure the burn. But if you're able to do the burn on the ability and then retreat this out and attack with something else if you want to. So just something to be thinking of, because I could see this potentially as doing something there. It's just its stage 2 is the biggest hindrance that it has. There's a Seadra that we need to be able to get into it. We've got the Horsies already, 80 water, 2 for Razorfin 50. So, I mean, Horsey only needed 1, and Seadra only needs 2, and the Kingdra EX needs 2 as well. So, I mean, you get 2 on there and you're kind of good. So, that's nice. Another doubling up on those big Natus, and here we go, Porygon Z. So the Porygon 2 was 2 for a 40 damaging attack there. What does Porygon Z have? 130 normal type or colorless type there, so it goes up by 50 HP. Slowing Beam, 2 for 70, so you don't have to add any more. Does 30 more damage. During your opponent's next turn, attacks used by defending cost 1 colorless more. Oh, that's good. That's so good. There, they have to. You can either stall them out, or you can make them waste putting another energy onto them there if you need to do that. And again, if you're able, like, especially if you're able to go second there, and you're like, okay, you know, like, I put the Porygon out, and I put an energy onto it there, potentially attacking there, and then it's like, okay, you go to turn 2, and you have the Porygon 2 in your hand, you play it down, and it's like, okay, I'm going to attach my second energy to it. You then rip the Porygon Z from your deck and evolve it instantly to do this here. You're dealing 70 damage just out of nowhere, and your opponent's attacks cost an extra energy to hit. This is another disruption strategy there that seems incredible. Plus the artwork on this, with all of the glitches going on in the background, makes this absolutely incredible artwork as well. I'm definitely going to play this. This is like a weird random control card there that just seems incredibly interesting. Sunkern, Cleffa, it had an extra flash there. Is it because it's like a baby Pokemon? I know that it's really special because it's got the blank card type there, not card type, blank energy cost, meaning that it costs 0. You don't need an energy on this to use it. Cleffa, 30 HP, psychic type, so very easily to KO it there, but it costs nothing to activate Twinkly Call, which does the same thing as the Eevee. It puts a random Pokemon from your deck into your hand there. Who knows? Some of these 0 cost attacks are very impactful, and one of the big things to understand about these 0 energy attacks is that if you go first, because you're not able to put any energy in your Pokemon, if you start off with Cleffa or another Pokemon that has one of these 0 cost energy cost attacks, you can still use it. I mean, just kind of like if you used a Misty on your first turn and you're able to get some energy on it, you're able to attack, you're able to use this attack, so you're able to still pull something out. So it makes it even better to be going on turn 1 with this, because you don't need that energy on the first one there. So honestly, could be very good. You know, we'll have to pay attention because that could be used. I mean, even if it does get KO'd, you know, if you've got another Pokemon there that you can put, you know, onto the bench there, you're going to be fine. Ledian, Quagsire, 130, water, free 3 for Surf at 80, kind of meh. Binacle, Cyndaquil, Sunflora, 90, Grass type, 2 for Solar Beam, 70. We've got other things that do a lot more for 2, so unfortunately Sunflora, gonna have to pass on you. A Corsola there, aw, feeding it a bunch of Oran Berries. It's so shocked, it's like, wait, for me? 80 HP, water type, 1 for Find a Friend. Unfortunately, Corsola has no evolutions, so it's literally just a card to play Find a Friend. Unfortunately, that means this Corsola, probably the only thing that it's good for is to put it in this Magikarp, Gyarados, Fisher deck here, where you use it to help find extra Water-type Pokemon to put on your bench. And because it only has a 1 retreat cost there, when you've got your Gyarados all set up, you can retreat this out for the 1, use the Gyarados. It's got 80 HP, so it can kind of tank an attack, maybe 2 from your opponent there, to be able to get it out. I mean, I was going to say you could potentially use the Cleffa one as well, but the Cleffa unfortunately is not water, so it doesn't work with the Gyarados. So, I mean, you could still use the Cleffa of getting some additional Pokemon out there, especially if you go on turn 1 and it ends up in your hand. You know, but I definitely see that this is a card that's going to be used for there because it literally does nothing else. It just finds Pokemon from your deck there. So, unless you're trying to pull up more Pokemon there, or you're trying to find a very specific one because as soon as you draw it, you know that you're going to win, it does nothing. Mareep, so cute. Elemental Switch, move a fire, water, or lightning energy from one of your bench to your active there. So, you know, kind of helping out, doing a little bit of Vaporeon ability. Probably definitely gonna be wanting to use this with your Lugia because of how it works there. But I don't think it does enough, unfortunately. Corphish, Musharna. Emolga, 70 HP Lightning, 1 for Raging Thunder, 40 damage. This attack does 10 damage to one of your benched. Unfortunately, does it to your bench there. You know, far-fetched damage, but, you know, with a little bit of drawback there. Chinchou, Mareep, Quillfish, and another Kingbury EX. Okay, so if we do want to make a deck, we've got 2 of those in there. Certainly we'll take that. Another Slowking, Heatmore, Sudowoodo, Emolga, and Barbanacle. Unfortunately, you know, nothing new there. Chinchou, Blossom, Corsola, Apom, 50 HP colorless. For 1, you imitate draw cards until you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent. That could be very good. You know, try to play out as much as you can from your hand and then just refill it there. So if they've used like a Pokeball and they haven't put something out there, or they find a friend and then put something in their hand, they use an Oak and they draw cards, you could try to empty out as much from your hand as possible to Apom and potentially draw like 2, 3, 4 cards, something like that, maybe more. I mean, it's a very good move, especially for 1. I mean, I know that Ambipom doesn't really do anything, but it could be just like put a Apom or 2. If you want to put 2 in there, it's just a like draw engine for that there. We've got the regular Xatu there. I really much prefer the full art artwork there, but man, that with Will just really does a number there. All right, so there we are with our with our cards there. We did end up getting our glorious new ruler, new art coming soon card there. When the new art does come in, I'll probably try to showcase what it actually looks like for us there, because it's a little bit ridiculous as it is now. 80 different cards, 74 of the 161 though, so you know, we're on our way there to almost half. And this will be our 40 packs, our 40th packs here. Seeing if we can get something good. We haven't gotten any 2-stars yet. No shinies, no 2-stars, but we did get the immersive art, so that's always good. And I think we got something starting right off the bat here, based off of sounds. Cyndaquil, the Houndour. Okay, so Houndoom was for 3, this one's for 2. 60, Dark, Bite for 40. Rescue Scarf, okay, another tool. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put it into your hand instead of your discard pile. So if it's something really impactful, you could do this here. Potentially along the lines of like EX that you really want that, if you play another one there, it'd be really good. Or if it's like a stage 1 or stage 2 and you're like, man, I only want to run one of this so I can add another thing in there. I mean, I guess that this would technically replace the other copy for you. It's kind of up in the air of what you really want to use this for there, but it could help you retain a Pokemon there. So I definitely think that this is usable. It's just where would you want to end up using it is the most important question. Heatmore, another Quillfish artwork there. Nice, nice. Sunkern, Seadra. 2 Seadras is good. Corsola, Sudowoodo. And we're getting the regular Lugia EX. Okay, so that's good because this is going to be limited to only the Lugia packs. And in order to try to get the Master Collection for the set, we'll need this here. So that is going to be our regular artwork. Very nice, very nice. Again, I think it's completely unusable based off of its the secondary effect of its attack. But like I said, we'll take it. Lyra, okay. Lediba, I really feel like I recognize this artwork there. I'm pretty sure I have this card from one of the Gen 2 booster packs there. 60 HP, grass type, 1 for bug bite 20. Okay, another Cherubi, Mana, Darmanitan, 120 HP, fire, 3 for heat blast 70. Not really usable there, unfortunately. Darumaka with our Yukamori artwork there, 70 HP, fire type, 2 for flop, 30 damage there. Okay. Mantine again, Mana, Dunsparce, another Smeargle, okay, just in case we want another one. Another Magikarp there, a Murkrow, Binacle, Gloom, falling for its life, Elemental Switch, another Beloved Mareep, Oddish, Poliwhirl, Vulpix, Honchkrow. Okay, so we do have a Honchkrow in this one here, 120 Dark, 2 for Dark Cutter, 60. Unfortunately, loses the good kind of effect of the attack there, so I'm not super fond of that there. It's a way to keep it alive, I guess, and deal some damage since its attack doesn't actually do anything, but Remoraid, Slowpoke, Barbanacle, Mana, Darmanitan. Oh, Pichu! So, are they gonna put a few of these baby Pokemon in here with the zero energy attacks there? 30 HP, lightning type, Crackly Toss, take a lightning from your energy zone and attach it to one of your benched basic Pokemon. It has to be basic, but I mean, if it's a benched basic EX there, like the Pikachu's, that's a good one there, or to just try to get some extra energies on your electric. I mean, pretty good. It also has a retreat cost of 0. That's right, a retreat cost of 0, so if this does survive, you can retreat it out on the next turn and keep it alive to potentially, put a Pikachu on it if you want. I'm not entirely sure how these babies are going to work because they do show up as basic Pokemon and not Pikachu doesn't show up at stage 1. And I think all of the other ones, like Jigglypuff and whatnot there. So it's interesting, but very, very good to have these, 0 energy cost ones there. They are probably going to be pretty impactful. Corsola, Ambipom, oh, beautiful Ninetales here with the sunset in the background. Very, very gorgeous artwork. 100 damage, fire type, 3 for Scorching Breath, 120 during your next turn. This Pokemon can't attack. I mean, it's only a retreat cost of 1, so I mean, you could retreat it out, put something else out that you attack on the next turn there, and then, you could put an extra energy on this. If you want to retreat the other one there, you can. It would be doubling up on 2, but I could potentially see you putting, this along with your Scizor there, so you get your 2 Steel-type energy on your Scizor, and, you have this here, and because it can... it just needs 2 fire and 1 colorless. That means that you could potentially put a steel type on it if you so desire as your extra one there. Food for thought if you're looking for just a couple of stage 1s there. It's an interesting one. I think it's powerful. 120 damage on a stage 1. It's very powerful, and the downside is very you can work around it there. especially with both Ninetales and Scizor having just a 1 retreat cost there. Yeah, I feel like it's quite doable there. Another Hitmontop, doubling up on the Ninetales just in case we wanted to do the deck, I guess. Poliwag there. Oh, it's a little crocheted Poliwag. 60 HP, water, 1 for Water Gun 20. Okay. Another Pinsir, Musharna, another Jinx, another Politoed, just in case we wanted a second one there. Pineco, double Pineco, another Smeargle, Munna, and another Octillery, just in case we want more water control. Okay, so getting a little bit of the Lugia action there and getting some new cards, so we should be now over halfway through all of these here. And there we go, 84 of 161. That is pretty good. Still no 2 stars, though. That's interesting. So maybe my luck isn't really paying off on these ones here. We'll see in the future. So this will be our up to pack 50 here. So this one and one more before we swap over to Ho-Oh. See if we can get the Ho-Oh immersive art there. All right, anything in these ones? Not hearing anything there, so let's see if we can get surprised. Chikorita, Smeargle, Heatmore, Darumaka, Elemental Switch, another Heatmore, Pinsir, Magikarp, Cherim, Absol, Quilava, Corsola, Magikarp, Pineco, Poliwhirl. Looks like we're getting a lot of dupes in these ones here. Wooper, Bayleaf, Cyndaquil, Magikarp, Goofalont, Ledian, Granbull. Okay, that'll be a new one there. 120 HP, Psychic, 3 for Wild Tackle, 100, it does 20 to itself. Meh, Vulpix, Chinchou, Absol. Still looking for a Lantern there. Lyra, Magikarp, Porygon, Chikorita, Blossom, Sunkern, Porygon, Quagsire, Ledian, Lyra. Okay. We'll definitely want to get some sort of Flare on Lyra. Barbanacle, Sudowoodo, Remoraid, Hitmontop, another Kingdra EX there. Okay. Would have been nice to maybe get a different EX, since we've already got a couple. Another Rescue Scarf, Jinx, Yanma, Magikarp, Barbanacle, Sunkern, Mareep, Natu, Squirt Bottle. Discard a fire energy from your opponent's active. That's very specific, so probably not going to be used. And a Crawdon. Okay, so we did end up with a couple new ones there, but quite a lot of dupes in this one here. Nothing super fantastic. I mean, we got one EX, but it was one that we already had 2 copies of there. 100 HP, Water type, Unruly Claw. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may discard a random energy from your opponent's active. Okay, so a little bit more water control on this one as well. 70 for 3. That's not fantastic there. The control on it there seems nice, but I think it's just beyond a little bit playable, unfortunately. So that was probably our worst pack opening, like our 10 pack for quite a bit there. There wasn't really a whole lot that got added in there. Just a few more in it there. So unfortunately, we are down to our last 10 packs for the Lugia. So we'll see where this ends up going. Okay, so a little bit at the end. So we're getting a little bit of something. Hopefully it's going to be at least new art cards that we have. Again, we have yet to get any shiny Pokemon, if there are shiny in this, and we haven't gotten any 2 stars yet. Mawile, Vulpix, Yanmega, Heatmore, Granbull, another Granbull, Pineco, Vulpix, Corsi, another Xatu. Okay, this wasn't anything that we saw, but I'll definitely take a second one of those art cards for it there. It's very, very pretty. Chikorita, Honchkrow, Houndour, Sunkern, Ninetales, Jinx, Flaffy, Remoraid. Uh-oh. Loading. I thought that it was going to be something good. Darn you, loading. Oddish. Oh, well, here's our new thing. A Shuckle EX. 120 HP, Grass type. Solid Shell, it takes 20 damage less. Triple Slap, 20x. Flip 3 coins, it does 20 damage for each heads. Honestly, not that good of an EX there. I'm going to pass on it there. It's bulky, you know, it takes 20 less, but, I mean, when they're dealing potentially, you know, over 140, it doesn't matter. It's still going to get KO'd. Its ability means nothing, and it can only do a maximum of 60, but at a random chance there. I will take it because it is new and will help out complete the collection. I will not be using it. Lediba, Cherubi, Poliwhirl, Porygon. And there we go. We start getting everything in our last ones here. Magneton. A shiny Magneton. Did we have this, a Magneton with an ability? I don't remember that. I mean, if we did, like... Spinning Attack, I remembered that. Oh, this might be from, like, the, Space-Time Smackdown one, potentially, maybe. Or maybe a different one there. It's a lot for Spinning Attack. 80, Lightning type, Volt Charge. Once during turn, may take a Lightning Energy from your Energy Zone and attach it here. Kind of need it to get up to 60 there. But a shiny Pokemon will definitely take that. I mean, it helps out getting the collection there. Wooper, Oddish, Darmanitan, Eevee, Balava, another Darmanitan, Slowking, Slowpoke, Double Slowpoke, Cyndaquil. Ooh, full art baby Pokemon. Getting, a lot of different little plushies there to have Pichu sleeping with. Got a little bit of Tandemaus. Got an Arboliva, and we got a Lunatone. And we have a Ducklet, and potentially a... I'm trying to remember what the evolution of Morlul is. I think it's Shiinotic. That Shiinotic face, though, is absolutely demonic. So, I mean, if it's sleeping that well without looking at it, it's stronger than I am there, and it's a baby Pokemon. But, a rare version, now a illustrated version, and a really cute one of it sleeping too. That's very, very nice. Absolutely will take that. Well, we saw that we got another art card here. Ledian and a Smeargle. Oh yeah, look at it there. A lot of like watercolors there. Looks like it's painted on. It feels very, very appropriate with it. Another really good one to get there. Corphish, Hitmontop, and Houndoom. Ooh, and we get an Elekid as well. Very nice. 30 HP, Lightning type. Zappy Shot deals 20 damage to one of your opponent's fetched Pokemon. So, this is... I'm assuming that Magby and Elekid are going to be the ones that can actually deal damage, but, I mean, for 0 damage, for 0 energy, you can deal 20 damage. I mean... Again, like, first turn is becoming a little bit better there. You might have to be careful of what you end up putting on your bench. So, very good to get an extra one there. Again, the rares can be a little bit hard to get. Oddish, Houndoom, Vulpix, Darumaka, another Lyra. And we're finishing up Mawile, Corsola, another Porygon Z. We need that for the deck. Heatmore, and Octillery. Okay, so we got the 3-star, the immersive art one there, and we got some more arts. We got a new EX, even if it's bad. A shiny. We got a couple another full arts, as well as another baby type Pokemon. Wait a second. These packs have 6 cards in them. Is that what they're doing now? If a pack shines, you get 6 cards in it? What? Oh my... I'll have to watch that for future ones there. That's pretty cool. Where it's just like, oh yeah, if it shines, you get an extra card in it. Nice! Oh, that's so cool. I'm sure that's an addition that they didn't, mention in there. But, I mean, it looks like we're doing pretty good. We're just shy of 90, so, got a little over 70 cards left there. And, Lugia, thank you for what you've done. And it's unfortunate I can see that there's, a Lantern EX and a Espeon EX in here, so it looks like there are some cards that we didn't get. I'm surprised that Ho-Oh is not the one that has the Espeon with it there, but let's see what Ho-Oh can bring for us there. It's going to have some unique cards for us as well. Hopefully we'll get the immersive art in this one as well. See if it's also got the impressive artwork that the Lugia one had. Alrighty, a little bit of luck. Okay, so we heard a couple of sounds, and we got a shine at the end. So we have to see if maybe that last pack has 6 cards as well. Mawile, Swanna, okay. 80 HP, Water type, Feathery Cyclone for 2, 60, move all energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon with a retreat cost of 0. Okay, so you could set up, try to get some 60 damage off, and then, oh, you could, like, this is another one that I see that you could potentially use for the Gyarados deck there. Of, okay, you know, you get the Swanna out there, you deal a 60, you move the energy onto your Magikarp there, because you only need the 2. This is also colorless, so you could put it into any deck. It's colorless as in the attack is colorless. So actually, this is a very interesting card there because of the whole deal of, yes, you know, it moves everything off of it, but you deal 60, and you can retreat it out for 0 to put something else in that you are essentially pumping up. Huh. You get to choose your benched Pokemon. I could see this as being very, very nasty, of being like, ah, yes, you know, this is in like a Darkrai deck, and you put you have 2 dark energy on this, and then on the turn that you put out your 3rd energy or something, you could potentially put it on the Darkrai, dealing the 20 damage to the active. You deal 60 damage to the active, and then you move everything off of this onto the Darkrai to deal another 40 damage, so you're dealing 120, and then on the next turn you could retreat out Swanna, and then bring in the Darkrai, which has its 3 energy on it, so you can use its attack. Very interesting. Houndour, Spinarak. Is this another? No. I was like, man, you know, this looks like another potentially, you know, clay one there, but it's a different artist here. But kind of very similar to that Yukimori artwork there. It looks made out of clay there. Spinarak, 60, Dark type, Pierce for 20 for 1. Okay. Gliscor, 100 HP, Fighting type, 2 for Shark Fang, 60. Okay. We're already getting some new stuff here that probably is going to be Ho-Oh exclusive. Chansey, 100 HP, colorless, 2 for Scrunch, flip a coin. If heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon. We'll see what Blissey does. T-Tar, 160 HP, Dark type, Energy Plunder. Once during your turn, you may move all Dark energy from each of your Pokemon to this Pokemon. So you could use this as another thing to retreat. Yeah, that's another interesting one that you could do, again, with another Darkrai there. It's like you've got the Swanna out there, and you do all the stuff that we talked about. Instead, on the turn after you do that, when you're retreating out the Swanna, you could retreat out for the T-Tar, put a Dark Energy on Darkrai to deal the 120, then use this ability to move all of them onto this, which is 4 energy, and you're able to use the 130 attack. So potentially, if the whole like stuff onto the Darkrai didn't KO the Pokemon there the previous time of, what was that? It was 120. If another 20 onto it there to deal 140 doesn't, you're hoping that 140 KOs the Pokemon that was out there. Then you could bring this out, deal 130, or potentially like the extra 20 off of it there for 150. It's an interesting combo that you could think of there, but difficult to pull off because of all of the working pieces that you'd have to get up there. But T-Tar, it's interesting, like, you know, it needs a lot to be able to attack, to retreat there, but to be able to bring all of your Dark Energy onto it there for 130 damage, you know, it could be used there. I mean, Houndoom, Heatmore, Gligar, 60 Fighting, 1 Glide 10 to go into Gliscor. Okay. Oh, Magby. Now I don't know if maybe Elekid might be an exclusive for Lugia, and maybe Magby is an exclusive for Ho-Oh. But yeah, getting these art cards there for the babies is really nice. It looks like they might all just be sleepy. They got the Eepee on them there. 30 Fire type for 0 cost. Toasty Toss, take a Fire energy from your energy and attach it to one of your bench. Okay, so it acts like a Pichu. whereas the Elekid actually attacks. So Elekid might be the only one that attacks there, but always good to get these art cards here. Totodile, we hadn't gotten any of those, so maybe Meganium, the Bayleaf, the Chikorita line might be in both of these here, and maybe Typhlosion and Totodile might be exclusives. Interesting. 60 HP Water, 1 for Wave Splash 20. Zubat, 50 Dark type, 1 for Venomous Fang 10. Opponent's active is now Poison. We'll see what the Golbat and Crobat might do there. Girafarig, 80 for Psychic, 3. Psybeam 50, opponents is now Confused. Okay. A Togekiss, okay. 140, Psychic type, Celestial Blessing. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attacks, flip a coin if had to prevent it. So another, like, Bastiodon type of effect there. But on a Psychic type. Interesting. Magical Shot for 70. And an Entei. We didn't get any of these guys in the other one, so I don't know if any of them are exclusives. 110 Fire type, 4 for Strong Flare, 110 for the point if Tails, discard 2 from this Pokemon. Kind of meh, you know. Yanma, Heatmore, Sudowoodo, Pupitar, 80 and Fighting, Guard Press 20, takes 30 less from attacks there. Okay, you know, it's fine, you know, keep it preserved so that you're able to put it on T-Tar, but mind you, that was a Fighting type there and not a Dark type, because it only becomes a Dark type once it becomes Tyranitar. Darmanitan, Ambipom, Double Ambipom, a Marill, 60 HP Water, 1 for Tackle. Dark Pendant. If the Dark Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active slot and it's damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, your opponent reveals a random card from their hand and shuffles into their deck. So this is, again, we're talking about like dark Pokemon disruption control there, and this is just a Pokemon tool that doubles down on it there. You know, like you could do it, you could put this on your Murkrow and you do it once with its attack, and if it hits you, then it happens again. Or if you're using Houndoom and you put it on there and you make them discard a card and then they have to shuffle another one in. Yeah, I think dark cards, the dark Pokemon are having a very specific archetype put onto them there. A Delibird, a little bit of Shady Penguin, 70 HP, Water, Stumbling, Draw 10. So it does do damage, but allows you to draw a card there. So getting a little bit more of that Sigilith effect there. A little bit of Yanma, Noctowl, 100 HP, Colorless for 3. You get Fly, 90, flip a coin. If Tails, it does nothing. If Heads, during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of this. Oh, so this is a super risk one there. So it's like, you want this one with, like, Will. Because if you get a Tails, you will take damage, and you don't deal any damage with this here. That's super high risk there. Ursaring, 120, Colorless, free throw, swing around, 60 plus, flip 2 coins, it does 20 more for each Heads. Okay, not too shabby. Dunsparce, Jasmine. During your opponent's next turn, all of your Steelix and Skarmory EX take minus 50 from attacks. Oh boy, so, you know, Adamant already making things making Steel types take minus 30, and now you're making certain Steel types take minus 50. I mean, they're definitely playing a defensive game, so we'll see what those two Steel types do. I'm sure that they're exclusive to Ho-Oh, since I don't think we saw Jasmine in the other one. 60 HP for Sentret, Colorless for 1 Scratch, and 20. Okay, Tangela, 80. Grass type, Sleep Powder, 20. Opponent's active is now asleep. Okay. The Girafarig, Stantler, 80, Colorless, 2 for Enhanced Horns, 20 plus. If this Pokemon has a tool attached to it, it does 50 more damage. Okay. Jumpluff, 120, not Colorless, Grass. Fluffy Flight, your active Pokemon has no retreat cost. That is so good. Oh my goodness, it's such a good ability. It does not say while this is an active slot. It does not say while this has an energy on it. It just makes every single one of your active Pokemon have no retreat cost. This is so good as a support. Only 1 for spinning attack that deals 60, so I mean, like, it can do damage if you want it to, but my goodness. Yeah, this could definitely see, like, surprisingly Jump Bluff being good like that there. Oh boy. Another Noctowl. Okay, we got something in this. Togepi, a baby Pokemon that is not following the baby archetype though. 60 HP, Psychic Charm. For 1, during your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon do 20 less. Furret, 90, and Colorless. Tail Smash for 180. Flip the coin if Tails does nothing. Okay. Stantler, and a shiny Primeape. Okay, and this is the Primeape that does more damage if it has damage on it there. So, if I get another one, I can replace them in that deck there and bling it out a little bit there, because I do have enough of the Mankeys that deal damage to itself. Oh yeah, that's nice. Golbat, 70, Dark type, Venomous Fang, 20. Opponent's active is now poison. So just following off with the Zubat, no additional energies. It just does an additional 20 damage and has some more HP. Clink, 60, Steel type, Vice Grip for 20 for 1. Okay. Houndour, Hitmontop, Stantler. And our last pack here, Togepi. So it is getting an art card because it looks like it's a baby, but it's not sleeping. It's got a bunch of the symbols on its eggs in the background there, so very nice, very nice. We'll absolutely take that. Emolga, Rescue Scarf, Yanma, Furret, and we're doubling up on the babies, and this was 6 cards in this pack, and this was the one that flashed, so getting a second Magni full art is really, really nice. We'll still need the regular artwork though. But it's so cool that those flashes now mean 6 cards in them there. Look at that Magby. So we're doubling up on the Magby, and both of them there are 6 card packs. Nice. Get those ones registered in. So it's interesting here that we do see that the Blossom, even though it's later on in the Pokedex, it's still following on with the line there. So, you know, it's just interesting to see them not put that they're based off of the base Pokemon there. But we are at 115. We're getting pretty close to getting everything in there. We probably won't, since, you know, we didn't get certain EXs in the Lugia packs. But we're going in for our packs 20 for Ho-Oh here. All right, let's get something. Let's get another 6-card pack. Okay, so we got a Shine and a Sound, maybe in the same pack there. Ursaring, the Ducklet for the Swanna, 60 water, 1 for Rain Splash, 10. Okay. Totodile, Jinx, a Delibird, so we're getting the Delibird, picking out all of the presents that it needs, basically just a bunch of berries that it's going to give to people there. Absolutely will take new art cards for us. That's fantastic. Yanma, Ducklet, a Slugma, 70 HP, Fire type, Stampede. How is it going to Stampede? 2 for 30, and it's got a little Pecha Berry in it there, so maybe the Delibird ended up giving it to it as a present there. That's my guess, is that the Delibird illustrated art is leaving some berries for some of the Pokemon there. Azumarill, 110 HP, Water type, Thick Fat. This Pokemon takes minus 30 from Fire and Water Pokemon. Fire and Water Pokemon, not attack, so that's important. 3 for Tail Smack, 60. So, you know, a little bit bulkier, but we all know we don't want the thick fat ability, we want huge power. Clang, 80 HP, Steel type, Gear Cutter, 2 for 40. Okay. Another Noctowl, another Houndoom, Furo, okay, 90 HP, Colorless, Peck Bugs, 30 plus for 1. If your opponent's active is a grass type, it does 40 more. Okay, you know, very specific for those ones there. Flora, Spinarak, Tyrope. Okay, so another baby type Pokemon there. 30 HP, fighting type with 0 cost to do Slappy Knuckle. 0 cost to do 20 when we have some Pokemon that it costs 1 energy to even deal 10 damage there. Again, I have no idea if these Pokemon are able to be evolved into other things so that you can save them there, but it's interesting. You know, you can deal 20 damage to your opponent without them taking a turn. You know, if they've got a baby Pokemon there and you put this out and that's their only thing, you could turn 1 win, potentially. Mana, Teddiursa, he's so adorable there. Definitely giving off the Pooh Bear vibes, especially with Honey Snack. 60 HP, colorless, 1 for Honey Snack, heal 20 from this Pokemon there. Adorable, adorable little guy there. Rescue Scarf, Meryl, Clang. Another adorable guy there. Darumaka, Musharna, a Spearow that we need, 70 HP, colorless, 1 for Glide 10. Houndoom, Hoppip. Hoppip looks like also received a berry from Delibird there. A lot of them seem like they're sleeping or waking up there, so definitely giving that Christmas vibes. 50 HP, Grass type, 1 for Tackle, 20. And, I mean, Jumpluff only needed 1 as well, so you don't need to put any extra energies on it there. Emolga 70, Snubble 60, Azumarill, Unknown. Okay, so I would say that this is an Unknown G because the ability is Guard. 60 HP, Psychic type, Guard. This ability works if you have any Unknown in play with an ability other than Guard. All of your Pokemon take -10 from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So you need multiple Unknown types to make this work there. I'm not sure how effective this will be since you essentially need 2 Unknown to activate this ability, and it doesn't really do a whole lot on its own there, unfortunately. Onix, 100 HP, Fighting type, 3 for Headbutt 50, okay. Another Dark Pendant, that's good for us. Noctowl, Fearow, Crobat EX, okay, final one there. 170 HP, Dark type, Venomous Slash, 70 damage, your opponent is now poisoned. No need to add any extra onto it there, so, you know, potentially another one for a Dark deck there, since you only need 1 energy to get it out there, and it does 70 and poisons them. Hey, and it looks menacing. Yanmega, Houndour, Larvitar, we needed you, buddy. 60 fighting, 1 for 10 tackle. Okay, Yanma, Azumarill. Pineco, Ambipom, Darmanitan, Snubble, and our card is going to be, a shiny Flareon. 110 fire type, and this looks like it might be a shiny Flareon from the Eevee Grove there, because it has Assisting Heater, which I think is the ability for that rare Flareon that we had there. 40 damage, fire from your energy zone, attach it to a benched Pokemon. Absolutely love all of my shinies there, and getting some shiny Eevees and different evolutions is going to be fantastic. Heatmore, Yanmega, Hitmontop, Yanma, Musharna. So, okay, so we did see the flash, but it did not, unfortunately, give us a 6th card in the pack. This one did. So it's just random there, potentially, for the 6th card, because that one did not have a shine to it. Interesting. So just sometimes out of random. Maybe it's specifically the baby Pokemon? If you get a baby Pokemon, maybe it, that's my current working theory for it. But we'll see as this goes on. Okay, let's get some extra cards here. Okay, got a sound and a shine there. Noctowl, Teddiursa, Onix, Unknown G, Ursaring, another adorable Eevee, Zubat, Yanma, Silver. Okay, new trainer here. Opponent reveals their hand, choose a supporter from there, and shuffle it back into their deck. Okay. So disrupt some of their supporter stuff. So if you suspect them to have like a defensive card, offensive, something that will help them there, you could use this to try to do that disruption. And it kind of goes in with the dark deck of potentially getting stuff out of their hand. Interesting one there. Pupitar, Teddiursa, Gligar, Sunkern, Houndoom, Donphan EX. Well, we know that there was a Donphan EX because we saw that there was a rainbow one earlier. 160 HP, fighting type on only a stage 1. Okay, Gigantic Press, only 1 energy. 50 plus, if this Pokemon has at least 2 extra fighting energies on it, it does 60 more damage. So it's 1 for 50 or 3 for 110. It's okay. I guess there, it can deal damage early on. It doesn't deal a whole lot, and you can keep on putting more onto it to add more damage. Tangela, Houndoom, Spearow, Hoot, 50 HP, colorless. Insomnia can't be put to sleep. 2 for wing attack. Okay. Tangrowth. Okay. I was just thinking, like, where's my Tangrowth? 130 HP. Grass type. 3 for Grass Knot. 10 plus. This attack does 40 more damage for each energy in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. Okay, so that seems very fitting because in most cases, heavier Pokemon have greater retreat costs there. So I think it's very rare for a Pokemon to have 0 retreat. So very rare case you do 10. So at the very least you're doing 50, but you could potentially be doing at most 170 based off of the retreat cost there. It's an interesting one. Eevee, Houndoom, Spinarak, Sunkern, Togetic. We needed this one here. 90 Psychic, 2 for Speed Dive, 30. Well, we know that the Togekiss has a very interesting ability there, so if we want to get to it, that's potentially one of the ways that we need to. Another Clink, Zubat, Stantler, Sudowoodo, Azumarill. And we're getting a Heracross. Well, we don't have the normal one there, but we are getting the full art of one. 90 HP, Grass type, 2 for single lunge, 40 plus. If this Pokemon has no damage on it, it does 40 more damage. It gets worse as it goes on. That's the only problem that I see with it there. You have to try to heal it up to be able to... Don't get me wrong, it's a basic that can do 80 damage for only 2 energy. You have to have a way to be able to heal this, though, if you want to keep on dealing that, though. So you have to build around this card, kind of. Jinx, Tangela, Girafarig, another jump bluff, good. The 0 retreats for everybody is insane. Onix, Houndoom, Hitmontop, Gligar. Feraligatr, don't have Croconaw, but we got Feraligatr. 150 water type, 3 for destructive, Whirlpool, 90 damage, and you discard a random energy from your opponent's active. That's pretty good there. So it looks like blue and... I was going to say blue and black like Magic. No, water and dark types there are having this like disruption feel to them there. Very interesting that they're putting that on there. Hero, Stantler, Yanma, Sunkern, and Cherrim. Finishing off with Houndour, Rescue Scarf, Larvitar, Pineco, Skiploom. Okay. Getting a little bit more there. I don't know if that Skiploom was new. It was, but I mean, it's 70 HP, Grass, 1 for Seed Bomb, 40. Not too much there. So adding a little bit more, it looks like we've got a Heracross that we need to find there, but we are almost finished up with all of our grass types there. We have a little under 30 to go before we get all of the stuff there. I believe that this is pack... Is this pack 30 or 40? I've lost track here. I think that this might be... I'm going to say this is 30. No, I'm going to say this is 40. Okay, we got nothing off the rip, so we don't know anything. Emolga, Togetic, Hoo-Hoo, Yanma. Ooh, our first 2-star, and it's an Umbreon full art. Oh, yeah. Get this Umbreon EX there. So we've got in Leafeon, we've got in Glaceon, we've got in Sylveon, and we've got in Flareon. Now we just need a Vaporeon and Jolteon EXs. 140 HP, Dark type, Dark Chase.
Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has damage on it to the active slot. Oh, so this is a free Cyrus every turn if this is in your active slot, and it deals 80 damage for 2 dark types. Again, it's looking like these dark Pokemon are very, very disruptive there, because, you know, I could see this being kind of that last slot there for those ones of it. It's like the Murkrow, the Houndoom, this one there, you know, just being able to get enough to just disrupt, do stuff with your opponent's hand, and now you can just actively switch out their Pokemon if you want to. That's nasty. Steel Apron, new tool. The Steel Pokemon this is attached to takes 10 less from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Recover from all special conditions and cannot be affected by any special conditions. That is a pretty nifty one there. Just giving them an extra, you know, little bit of tankiness like they've already proven. This pairs up with Adaman as well as Jasmine there, of reducing them there, and cannot be subjugated to special conditions. That could be pretty good for steel types. Furret, Pineco, Onyx, Pupitar, Cherubi, Bouffalant, Totodile, Apom, Ursaring. Need that Croconaw though. Noctowl, Larvitar, Snubbull, Stantler, Klinklang. We needed this one as well. 150 steel type. 3 for Gear Spinner 70 during your next turn. This Pokemon's Gear Spinner does an additional 70. Starting off with 70 and then going into 140, you KO Pokemon in 2 shots there, and then it starts continuously doing 140. Honestly, pretty good. Like, it's a second stage, but like just to be doing flat out 140 every turn, that's a little bit of a yikes. Azumarill, Klink, Gligar, Jinx, another Steel Apron there. Hitmontop, Spinarak, there's our Croconaw, 90 water type, 2 for bite, 40 damage, okay. Noctowl, and here's our Blissey, so we don't have the normal one, but we have this one here. 150 HP, pretty tanky for a first stage. Colorless. For 3, you get Energy Blow, 20 plus. This attack does 20 more damage for each energy attached to it there. So it does 20 damage, but it does an additional 20 for each one that you have to fulfill the colorless on. So it's a minimum of 80 damage with it on, and you can continuously put this up here. And I mean, mind you, if you are somehow able to, because this is colorless, you put it into like a superior deck there, you know, you can on 2 energy be able to use the ability, but it counts as if 4 energy are on there, so it's essentially dealing 100 damage, and every time you put another energy on there, it does an additional 40. I mean, I feel like I want to try to build around this one here as well. Especially because it's super tanky. Like, you could put some healing in on it there to keep it from being KO'd. And it's not an EX. Pupitar, Yanma, Hoothoot, Hoppip, Clang, Darumaka, Yanma, Ambipom, Ursaring, another Togekiss, that'll be good. Totodile, Onyx, Heatmore, another Swanna, okay. Yanmega. Swinub, okay, we don't have any of you guys yet. 70 HP, fighting type, 2 for Mudslap, 30, okay. Adorable little Eevee. Spinarak, another Donphan EX there. No, we'll take the 2. The regular Heracross, okay, so I think this might actually finish out our grass types there. That's very nice, especially since it's a rare. Again, like we said, rares and EXs can sometimes be difficult to get, especially if you're looking for a specific one. What do we have? 19,500, getting close to our 20,000 there. Yep, there we go. Grass is all finished up. Looks like we've still got some more fire types there. Another water type, a couple more electrics, a few more psychics. I mean, we've got the Swinub line remaining. We got the Phanpy there. Got a few more dark types, some more steel types. Regular Blissey, and it looks like maybe a Snorlax or something. I'm trying to think of what normal type might be between Chansey and Eevee there. But probably one of these fire types that we need is the Ho-Oh EX. Because we have not gotten that one yet there. So this might be 50 potentially. Alright, what have we got in store with us this time? Okay, so one shine, but nothing else, so we could still be surprised what we would get. Steel Apron. There's the Phanpy that we need, 70. One Phanpy and Fighting, one for Reckless Charge 30. It does 10 damage to itself, kind of like the Mankey there. Yanma, Stubble, a Hiker, okay, another trainer. For each of your fighting Pokemon in play, look at that many cards off the top of your deck and put them back in any order. That is very, very powerful. You stack the deck as you want it to. So, you know, you're looking at anywhere between the top card and the top 4 cards of your deck there. And you can base your draws off of that. So if your opponent has no way of disrupting what you have on top, you just essentially draw what you want to. Yeah, that's a very, very powerful card. You know, and if you've got something like the Lucario deck where you're trying to get 2 Lucarios out there and you're just like, oh yes, you know, I've got full bench and an active Pokemon there, try to get the 40. You can pick whatever you want and put it on top there. That's nasty. Yanma, Darumaka, Slugma, Absol, Stantler, Fearow, Gligar, Hitmontop, Sunflora, another Feraligatr. We haven't gotten another baby Pokemon, so I can't see if that theory is right, because the Flash didn't do it. Girafarig, Furret, Skiploom, Gliscor, Musharna, Marill, Chansey, Hoothoot, Bouffalant, Sentret, Delibird, Sudowoodo, Furret, Croconaw. Getting a lot of dupes again here. Apom, Teddiursa, Apom, Klinklang, Togetic. Okay, so this is where we got our stuff in. Spearow, Azumarill, Fearow, Cherubi, and a full art. No, this is a shiny. This is shiny Leafeon EX. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is fantastic there. Getting more of our shiny evolutions. That is what we want to see. So potentially we might be seeing shiny evolutions as well as the shiny evolutions EX there, because there was the EX Flareon there, though they might have to put that in the later one because it is an EX there. But my goodness, yes, give me all of the EV stuff. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active, you can take a Grass Energy from your energy and attach it up to one of your Grass Pokemon there to either help it get to its Solar Beam ability or something else there. Good with Superior there as well, but yeah. Give me shiny Eevee stuff. Togetic, Heatmore, Spearow, Totodile, and Croconaw. And for our last one there, we're going to get Ariados, new one there, 80 HP. Anytime I say that, it sounds like I'm saying ADHD, but it's 80 HP. Dark type, one for bind down 40 during your opponent's next turn. They can't retreat. Okay, I mean, it's not super tanky, so unless you're like keeping in a Pokemon that you're like, yeah, I want to KO this. Apom, Yanma, Hoothoot, and a Steel Apron. Okay. So ending off with a gorgeous full art shiny Evolution EX. Very, very nice there. Not a whole lot of new cards there, though we did get a few. This Phanpy, some of the supporter for the hiker there. We still got a little bit left there. We're definitely not finishing up the master set, but we are really darn close there. Now, this might be the last of my packs there that I'll open up for this time here, I think. Hopefully something interesting. Okay, a couple of sounds and we got a flash, so potentially Sunkern, Steel Apron, Apom, Swinub, and a Heracross. So already got that one there, so we are all set. Cherubi, Sunkern, Ariados, Girafarig, Rescue Scarf, Hoothoot, Yanmega, Yanma, Heatmore, and a Delibird. Okay. Maybe the Oran berries that we saw in the Corsola were also given by this Delibird, potentially. Teddiursa, Absol, Slugma, Emolga, Steel Apron, Heatmore, Granville, Zubat, Furret, Rescue Scarf, Pineco, another Entei, Phanpy, Gligar, T-Tar, Cherubi, Delibird, Heatmore, Furret, Togekiss, Sentret, Sunkern, Totodile, another Unknown G, and a Silver, Eevee, Hoppip, Sunflora, Mawile, another Sunflora. We saw that Rainbow Rare, Swinub, and a Skarmory EX. So we didn't get the regular one here, but we got the Rainbow Rare, and my goodness, does it look like that fighter plane that is soaring through the sky. Very, very beautiful. 140 HP, Steel type. 2 for Steel Wing, 70 damage. During opponent's next turn, this will take 20 less damage. A little bit of a tanky Pokemon there. Again, with Jasmine, if you play Jasmine after you use the attack, it takes 70 less damage. If you've got the Steel Apron on it, it takes 80 less damage. I mean, they're really pushing this this archetype of being super tanky there. Now we just need to see what the Steelix does. Jinx, Spinarak, Tangrowth. And there we go. I think that might have been the last one there. But let's see. Oh, needs to get added in. But it doesn't change the amount since it's just new. Okay, I might have just miscounted there or whatnot. But we'll be able to open up this here. It looks like these will be our final packs there. I'll head over to the Lugias after this just in case there, because if I can pull any extra ones there, I'll want to do it there. But let's see if we can get anything in this last one. Okay, well, we got a lot of sounds, we got a lot of flashes there. We are looking for the Ho-Oh EX, any version of them there to be real, because I just want to see what it does. And I mean, ideally, I would get the immersive art there so that I could be like, hey, you know, does it have the same great artwork? Snubbull, Pineco, Pupitar, Chansey, Ursaring, Golbat, Gligar, Slugma, Emolga, and Hiker. Cherubi, Ambipom, Noctowl. We did! Oh, we did! We got the amazing Ho-Oh immersive artwork. Look at that there. Oh, yes, yes, yes. We got both of the immersive arts there, and we got to see both of these super amazing artworks, the super amazing immersiveness. Oh man, so cool, right? Right? Everybody loves this one here. Alright, Ho-Oh EX, we got it. 150 HP, Fire type. 3 for Phoenix Turbo, 80 damage. You take a Fire, a Water, and a Lightning from your energy zone and attach them to your benched basic Pokemon any way you like. Okay, so they want you to play both of these there so that you're like, okay, send out the Ho-Oh and just fill up the Lugia because it's completely colorless for Phoenix Turbo there. You deal the 80 and then you're like, you could... Okay, so I see what they want you to do. They want you to get the Ho-Oh EX out so that you can deal... You get it full up. You get the Lugia out. You attack twice with the Ho-Oh EX, so you're dealing 160 damage, which probably will KO most things. And then you retreat out the Ho-Oh so that you can put in the Lugia EX, and because you have to discard a Water, Lightning, and Fire energy from the Lugia every time you attack, because it's got 2 of each one, you can attack with 180 damage twice and KO the final 2 things. I get it, that's what you're trying to do there. Oh boy, but damn, we got both of the immersive arts, that's fantastic. Sunflora, no golds yet, but I mean, hey, at least getting the immersive arts is good, because boy oh boy, those were difficult to get in Space-Time Smackdown. Clang, Teddiursa, Heatmore, Larvitar, Togekiss. Also in the, starting off with a Licky Shiny EX there. Who knows? Maybe this is a God Pack. Ooh. But just getting it there. I never ended up using the Licky EX there. It's decent, it costs a lot to use the attack. It is stage 1 and it has 160, so it's fine. It's just to get up to the 4 is a lot. Does 100 damage, and you could potentially just do a whole lot more. But it's not a God Pack, kind of what I was expecting. Houndour, Munna, Noctowl, Yanmega. But just getting another, shiny Pokemon there is nice for the set. Sentret, Ducklet, Yanmega, Spearow, Macargo. I need to go back to that one there because I didn't see Macargo before. Totodile, Mana, Ursaring, Spinarak, Fortress. I almost skipped on this one too. Fortress, 130 HP, Steel type, 3 total for Shell Crash 80. Not really doing anything there for us. Mawile, Gligar, Togepi, Hiker, Piloswine. I almost skipped over this one too. 100 HP, Fighting, 3, 4, Headbutt, Bounce, 70. Okay, again, it's more like what does Mamoswine do to get it there. Ducklet, Dunsparce, Hoppip, Croconaut, and Yanmega. And for our last pack here, I think we might have something at the end here. Furret, Houndour, Emolga, another Jasmine. We only had one, so getting another is good. And a Full Art Sentret. Not going to be a super amazing card there, but we are getting another art card, and it's always good to get those there. Fantastic. Okay, let's see what... There's our super amazing artwork there. But what does Macargo do? 120 and Fire type, Spurt Fire for 2, one other Pokemon, either yours or your opponent's. It's chosen at random 3 times. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, do 50 to it. That's actually pretty insane. Like, if you choose to not have a bunch of Pokemon on your bench there, because it's other Pokemon, not this one. That's very interesting. So it's like the Dragonite one from Genetic Apex there that does the 54 times, but this does it for less energy, but it could also potentially choose your own. I don't think that's necessarily bad, though. You could play around that there. But my goodness, again, getting the amazing artwork there for the Ho-Oh is fantastic there. Let's see if potentially our... Okay, so it looks like we're finishing off there with about 15 more to go. I can't quite think what that fire type might be before Entei, but after it is definitely going to be the Ho-Oh EX. So I'm pretty sure that Ho-Oh comes after all of the beasts there. So there's another fire type that's in there that I can't think of off the top of my head there. Another Johto fire type. I mean, the 2 that come to my mind are Slugma and Houndour. So maybe you guys might know what it is. We got a water type there. It's probably Suicune if I had to guess there, because it's either a Gen 2 or Gen 3. We've got a Lantern EX, we know that that's there, and probably a Raikou there if they have all of the beasts in it there. Another Psychic type between... maybe Smoochum? Maybe Smoochum? That's my guess there, because Jinx is technically the real baby type Pokemon there. But we've got Cleffa, but we don't have any of the Clefairy line there. Got a few more Psychic types, so maybe other types of unknown potentially, and that's why it has that weird effect there. Maybe another a ground type Mamoswine there. We've got another dark type between Spinarak and Ariados there. We don't have a Sneasel there because we know that should be there. And we've got some more steel types. A Steelix, another steel type that should be in the game between... just because I don't know if there's another steel type that I can think of off the top of my head in Gen 2 that would be between Fortress and Scizor. I mean, that very well could be Steelix. It might be Steelix, and there might be a different one that's a steel type between Scizor and Mawile. But we have Blissey. I mean, we got the full art one of it there. And I think maybe the one before Eevee will probably be Snorlax there. But it's not all that much there. It looks like there's still quite a bit of art cards that we have there that potentially could still come around there, because Umbreon, that's the dark type that is in there, the Umbreon EX. Right. And the other one of the Psychic types here is going to be Espeon EX. Okay. Now we're remembering. We've got it in our minds there. Now, I don't think that it's going to be available there, but we'll just click on this just in case. And it looks like we are able to. Maybe they took off the limits for them there, because I feel like I've passed up on the gold here. Hey, let's see. Alrighty. Maybe something good in here? Well, despite me liking Lugia, it looks like the packs don't like me. Horsey, Yanmega, Mareep, Porygon, Mantine, Remoraid, Darmanitan, Vulpix, Heatmore, Shiny Magnemite. Okay, so we got the Magnite and the Magneton there. Okay, we'll certainly take those. Munna, Fisher, Heatmore, Pineco, Rescue Scarf, Ambipom, Oddish, Sunkern, Quagsire, Gyarados, Dunsparce, Apom, Fortress, Vulpix, Gloom, Snubble, Leddyba, another Typhlosion, Vulpix, and another Lugia EX there, just in case we wanted one. Murkrow, Squirt Bottle, Ambipom, Emolga, Yanmega, Cherubi, Absol, Smeargle, Horsey, Apom, and a Pichu there. So yes, that was 6 cards in that pack, so I'm pretty sure it's not the flashes that give it to you, but it's if you get a baby Pokemon, you get 6 cards in the pack. Murkrow, Porygon 2, Yanma, Munna, Porygon 2, Heatmore, Barbanacle, Corsola, Yanma, Slowking there. So that's what that flashes that we see at the very end. It's a, hey, you got an extra card in it type of deal there. Okay, so I think that, yeah, it's just the, I think it's just the Magnemite that got added in there. Okay, so I must have just miscounted, or maybe they upped the amount of stuff that you're able to do. I'm not sure, but hey, we finished everything out there. We ended up getting, 15 away from completing out the master set. We got surprisingly a low amount of 2 stars there, but that might just be because of the vast amount of more cards in here than other ones. But I can guarantee you that this is Gen 2, and we didn't get the regular Umbreon EX, we didn't get the regular Espeon EX, we didn't get anything of the Espeon EX there. So definitely going to be going in, especially because I also don't know what the gold cards are. I'm assuming that they're going to be Lugia and Ho-Oh, but we could get surprised and it's something else. But, there's a lot to be going in on this set here. I'll be looking forward to doing another one. I mean, it's going to be less packs for one thing, but I'm not going to be reading off quite as much, so it'll be a shorter one than this one here. But I do want to thank you for coming in, staying here, working everything out with me here today. I wish you a lot of luck with whatever it is you are up to, and I hope that we get many, many more of these Lugia and Ho-Oh immersive artworks there, because they are so amazing. But take care of yourself until you come by next time. I'll see you later.